Louis Singer.
Yeah.
So you've written a new scene for Al Pacino. Send her a woman.
Yes. And
this scene you've written.
well, I haven't written the scene. I've written the character.
You've written the character of Send her a woman. How do you mean?
I mean what I say. I've written the character. I wrote the character for Al Pacino to act.
You mean he acted your words?
Yes. Yes. Have you ever tried to be somebody when you had crowds standing around you,
Shouting you down.
telling you that you were the worst trumpet player
You were the worst singer.
I ever heard? And then you maybe felt a little bit sad, and when you were asked to go on and play or sing in some talent show or other,
You couldn't face it.
you couldn't face it, knowing that your lover was going to be in the audience. That unless you knew he was going to be going out with another woman, you would not, or you would have given up there and then. And when somebody once told a friend of my father, they said, oh yes, they said, you know, you want to work for the church. And they were very pleased with this suggestion.
You want to work for the church.
And they applied for a job, I think it was at St Boniface's College once in, is it Shropshire or something, somewhere like that. St Boniface, anyway, St Boniface, who he was, we don't need to worry about that. The Scent of a Woman, yes. I wrote the character because it was suggested to Mr Pacino that they wanted somebody else for his role. Somebody else. They wanted somebody else in his character. They wanted him to play a different character to that which he played in The Godfather. And it was chosen, the idea that you know, that the scoring, hasn't it, from the from the abolition of slavery, 1833. You know,
It didn't improve conditions in schooling, did it?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you mean.
It didn't improve conditions in schooling.
Well, if you look back to the time of, take William Shakespeare, you see that his idea as a scholar is to take this bench and wrap it over somebody's head.
Present company accepted.
Present company accepted. Take this bench, wrap it over somebody's head, and you turn the monarchy into a blind man by the name of King Lear.
King Lear wasn't a king.
Yeah, who wasn't a king at all. And you're found in your, shall we say, your past to have been schooled by some method which the country at the time, or whether they recognised it or not, is irrespective. The country at the time was, shall we say, to which in some oblivion that the life, wasn't it, of the Queen.
One of the greatest virgins of her generation.
You have to believe that, as much as you have to believe that William Shakespeare...
One of the greatest
But have you ever thought of the fact that what he was actually writing, he was not actually writing at all. He was actually playing a film role.
Oh, so you mean Shakespeare in Love, where he played with the son of Ralph Fiennes,
Yeah.
and
Shakespeare
Gwyneth Paltrow.
was playing that part 300, 400, 500 years before those characters thought of playing it. But I had the idea, and I said to Ralph Reeder, I said, you want to get Al, because we loved Al, you know, not Al Pacino, I mean Al Jolson. And I used to talk for many times with Ralph Reeder on how this would be achieved to equivocate, in simple terms, to equivocate the stale, tired bed of the ancient novelist, who people have this false perspective of as being brought up in some college of a closeted professor of wisdom, who doesn't allow anything to be said that is anti to the establishmenti, the establishments of the kingdom.
Shakespeare was this woman.
So it was emancipating this woman of the stage that I said to Ralph, I said, well, Ralph, you know, I can only go out as William Shakespeare. Do you see what I mean? And Ralph said, no, son, you cannot go out as William Shakespeare. You can only go out as yourself. And I guess that is how I came to study law. That when she realized that nobody was going to accept her for who she was, she could not play Shakespeare. When she was asked to sing, they asked her instead to play the piano because they wanted to be accompanied themselves, or they wanted to sing something from Paint Your Wagon, I Was Born Under a Wandering Star, or they wanted to sing a incarnatus es from Shakespeare, Mass in C, or they wanted to sing the Puccini arias, not Tchaikovsky. How could they sing the Puccini arias from Tchaikovsky?
So Puccini, he was one of the greatest composers. You say your father was sent on a mission in World War II
to Italy
to try to get the Italians to surrender.
Yes, but not by the usual methods of going up to a general and saying, excuse me, General, would your army stand down?
My father was asked to, or it was suggested to him by the ultimatum they gave him, which was to either do it or be shot.
Or it was suggested to him
by the ultimatum which they gave him,
to either
do it or be shot.
And the British, don't they? They have ways, don't they, of killing you. But we won't want to talk about those. The army officer which conscripted him to
was not so much to the socialist
in Italy was not so much of a socialist, in fact, himself. People said after the war that my father was inglorious realms of dance bands and never really fought for his country. It is untrue. My father was heralded and proved to be the greatest cornet player of his generation in the world. And that is saying something. We're not talking about England, we're not talking about Ireland or Scotland. We're talking about the greatest recognised cornet player in the world in his time, not only as a player who had played formally in two occasions in Berlin in 1934 and 1936, but a lot of them only wanted to remember the 36, or was it that their history didn't go back to 34? My father was there twice. He went to Sweden in 1948 and played. And my father was in 1957 doing 7,000 miles in the United States of America.
As the #1 soprano cornet player of the Salvation Army's International Staff Band.
You cannot do that if people are telling lies about you. Do you see what I mean? So when it was suggested to my father that he should go to Italy to try to get the Italians to surrender, my father really, well, in a sense, this wasn't a job because they don't pay you to be a spy. They just tell you what they will pay you if you don't be a spy, you see. So
by the ultimatum which they
my
gave
father,
him,
he was like 00.
I suppose you call it 00, let's call him 0010.
And he studied the works from Tosca. He found them to be flawed.
Flawed?
Flawed? The works of Tosca flawed? You mean the role of Scarpia, chief of police, is not a credible role?
Flawed.
That's right, yes. Scarpia, the chief of police, is, you could liken to Giacomo Puccini himself. He is a bit of a rebel. He is a bit of a policeman. He is a bit, moreover, of something which not one of you, I don't think, even you as an interviewer, do you? You don't realise what is a true blackmailer. The person who is paying you. Have you ever thought about who is paying you?
Well, I haven't thought about that at all.
Well, let's suppose that you were being paid by Germany. Let's suppose you were being paid by Germany in World War II. Who do you think you would be being paid by?
Oh, well, I suppose I would be being paid by the Nazi Party, wouldn't I?
Yes, that's right. Because in Germany it was discovered, and this is World War II, this was under the Führer Adolf Hitler and Rudolf Hess, who was planned to be the deputy. It was decided that the Nazis were being discredited, and this I should mention, it has been very much to some extent since. The Nazis were being discredited by certain people, not only in Britain, but they were being discredited by the visits of the Duke of Windsor, who was King Edward VIII, as you know, for the year from approximately January 1936. But this was all, if you like, it was a backcloth or a resultant. It was not planned. It was the resultant of the invasion of October 1935. Let's get our facts right. 1935, Mussolini invasion of Abyssinia, where he puts his troops into North Africa. So my father's plan was to study Tosca and work on the, try and put Mozart's arias and things behind any idea of presenting them on the cornet, and work out where Puccini's work could be performed on the stage. And it was discovered that Puccini had in fact painted the chief of police as a woman, and that Tosca, in fact herself, was Scarpia. Tosca was actually Scarpia, and she was, although she complains in the opera that her lover, she's condemned, and her lover is under sentence of execution. I mean, we know all that, yes. But the truth, my father discovered that the truth was that she had deliberately got Cavaradossi, who was a painter in the church, had deliberately got him arrested because she couldn't face loving him anymore.
Oh, couldn't face loving him?
Couldn't face loving him, no. She couldn't face loving him because she couldn't stand the way, this absolute fraud, the way he was trying to paint like, have you heard of a constable? Have you heard of a constable?
Who, you mean the policeman?
No, I'm talking about the painter. I mean, you presumably knew I knew.
Ray wrote an arrangement for a film which you planned for Mr. Pacino, which is about the scent of a woman, but it's a script which you say you've not written the words of, but you created the character.
Right, that's right. Let me understand that.
And now you're going to sing for us.
Yes, I'm going to sing the famous song, I Want to Be Around.
Louis Singer. Danke. Danke, Louis. The piano is over there.
I want to be around. That's all I say. I want to be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart. When somebody breaks your heart, somebody twice as smart as me. Somebody who will swear to be true as you used to be with me, who'll leave you to learn that misery loves company. Oh, wait and see. I mean, I want to be around to see how he does it when he breaks your heart to bits. Let's see if the puzzle fits. So fine. And that's the way I discovered that revenge is sweet. As I sit there applauding from the front row seat, when somebody breaks your heart like you broke mine. Da 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 dee da dee da da da. when somebody breaks your heart. Somebody twice as smart as me. I wanna be around to pick up the pieces so fine. And that's the way I discovered that the evangelist street. As I sit there applauding from the front row seat, when somebody breaks your heart like you broke mine. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-dee-da-dee-da-da-da. Somebody who will swear to be true as you used to be with me, who leave you to love. To love. Be around. I want to be around. I want to be around when somebody twice smart as you. And what destiny had it when the Romulus and the Sen, when somebody breaks my heart like you broke mine. does it when he breaks your heart to bits. Let's see if the puzzle fits. I want to be around to pick up the pieces. When somebody breaks your heart. When somebody breaks your heart, somebody twice as smart as me. I want to be around. That's all I say.